What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are basically going to continue our coverage over Grant Morrison's Batman run, and we actually pick up with Batman R.I.P. or Batman Rest in Peace, however you want to call it. Now, with that being said, this was the book that Grant Morrison did right after the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. But with this book right here, it played the idea of the death of Batman. Now, it's not like the actual death of Batman, but more of a rebuilding, a reworking of the Batman character in a way. Or Bruce Wayne kind of losing control of the Batman identity to the point where a new version of Batman is made. And that is why it's called Batman Rest in Peace. It's a play on words. It's not the actual death of Batman, but more of a reworking of the character in a way. A rebirth of Batman. A new Batman rises up. But with that being said, this is going to be a two-part video. Reason why? Because it's 8 chapters long, and I feel like 2 parts is best for this story as a way to kind of make sure we hit every single detail, but also the video is not too long. With that being said, here's the first 4 chapters of Batman Rest in Peace. Now, the opening pages of Batman R.I.P. basically picks up with Batman talking to the Joker. Now, of course, Joker is in prison, and so this is Batman coming to the Joker, hoping that the Joker can basically give him some kind of information. Now, the information that Batman wants is basically over a organization known as the Black Glove, because this is Batman wanting to know who is the Black Glove. Where are they? And how can Batman actually stop them? Now, this is also Batman kind of thinking that basically the Joker may have a connection with the Black Glove. Now, of course, while Batman is talking to the Joker, that is the moment we see Joker kind of playing cards. And what Batman realized that a certain set of cards that Joker has basically is telling Batman a dead man is coming. And of course, it means like possibly Batman could possibly die. But of course, Joker doesn't tell Batman anything at all except this right here. It must suck that you can't see what is coming. Meaning that when it comes, Batman will not be ready for it. And that right there is very huge. But of course, Joker does not tell Batman anything else he needs to know, and you have Batman tell Joker, then tell them to bring it on. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with a character known as La Massue, and I really hope I pronounced that correctly. But La Massue is basically a hunchback. Now, right now, we actually do see him testing the powers of the Black Glove. And what I mean is that he wants to see if the Black Glove is able to cover up his murder because he just killed a guy. And of course, the Black Glove, they can. They were able to say the guy he murdered was actually a suicidal person. And so that person who just died will basically be put away as someone who committed suicide. And so La Massue is basically safe. But that is the moment where you have La Massue meet the Black Glove. Now, that's also the moment where we are introduced to Dr. Hurt. Now, Dr. Hurt, we actually met in a previous video, but of course, I will explain more as we go through this book. But Dr. Hurt is the one who is kind of like the leader of the Black Glove, and he is the one who wants to bring down Batman. He wants to break Bruce Wayne. And on top of that, Dr. Hurt also knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Now, that is the moment where we actually jump over to Gotham, where we actually do pick up with a character known as the Green Vulture. Yes, you heard that right. His name is the Green Vulture. Now, the Green Vulture is actually a villain who's not really that important for this book. He's just used as a way to kind of bring in Batman and Robin into this story. Now, you have to remember that the Robin you're seeing right now is actually Tim Drake. Matter of fact, this is probably a few months or a year right before we see Tim Drake no longer be Robin. And of course, he's replaced by Damian Wayne. But either way, though, you actually do have Batman and Robin being able to go after the Green Vulture and to actually capture him. Now, this is also the moment where we actually learn that basically the character you have right now, the Green Vulture, the reason why he's around because crime is on an all-time low. Basically meaning that there's no crime right now in Gotham. Most of Batman's enemies are no longer around at the moment, which is a huge thing for Batman. And so that is why you have characters like the Green Vulture just running around Gotham, because basically there's no one else more powerful around to kind of control the Gotham underground. Now, we do see Batman and Robin basically go back to Wayne Manor, where they're able to actually catch their breath, relax a little bit, possibly get some food from Alfred, the usual stuff. But that is also the moment where we are reminded about the girlfriend of Bruce Wayne. Remember, right before the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, we were reminded about the girlfriend of Bruce Wayne. And of course, that lovely lady is Jezebel. And by this point in Grant Morrison's Batman run, she knows that he is Batman. So there is no huge shock surprise that Jezebel knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. She already knows because we did skip a couple stories, but either way she knows, and they're madly in love with one another. Now this actually leads into a conversation between Tim Drake and Alfred. Now for Tim Drake, by this point in Grant Morrison's Batman run, you can really tell that Grant Morrison was beginning the process of actually removing Tim Drake. And what I mean by that is, in the last couple stories, Tim Drake kind of is bothered about the idea that Batman has a son, which is Damian Wayne. Now, of course, by this point, Bruce Wayne had actually adopted Tim Drake because Tim Drake's parents were both killed. And so, of course, by this point, Batman is the adoptive father of Tim Drake. And honestly, it seems like Grant Morrison is trying to say here, honestly, I don't know, that Tim Drake is beginning to feel a tad bit jealous because it's Batman being able to be a father to a son, where Tim Drake does not have his biological father around anymore. And so it seems like Tim Drake is a tad bit jealous. On top of that, this is Tim Drake wondering if Batman had actually did a DNA test on Damian Wayne. Now, of course, Alfred knows because Batman told Alfred a while back, but Batman has not told Dick Grayson nor Tim Drake about the idea that Damian Wayne is his biological son thanks to a DNA test. But Alfred does tell Tim Drake, yes, you have a brother technically now. Damian Wayne is the biological son of Batman thanks to the DNA test. Now that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Bruce Wayne and Jezebel showing respect to Thomas and Martha Wayne's graves. Now, of course, this is kind of very important for Bruce Wayne because this is him kind of showing Jezebel why in the world he is Batman. Like, why did he become Batman? And of course, it's her having to understand, thanks to the death of his parents, it what led him to become Batman. And so it's her understanding why he became Batman, the origin of Batman. Now, right after that, that is the moment she does show Bruce Wayne a letter. And of course, this is a letter that is basically telling her that her and Bruce Wayne were both invited to join the Black Glove. And of course, it's Batman wanting to hold on to that letter to kind of learn more about the Black Glove and why were they sending an invite to Jezebel and Bruce Wayne. That right there is very interesting. Now, that is the moment where you basically pick up with Arkham Asylum. Now, when we see Arkham Asylum, it does look like a whole huge murder scene had happened there. Like somebody went on a killing spree. And so with that, the question is, why? Who went around killing people? And of course, we find out it is the Joker. But except the entire murder scene we're seeing right now is fake. It's Joker just hallucinating. He's imagining the entire thing. And the reason why? Because he was confronted by, of course, La Bassu. And this is La Bassu basically handing Joker a letter. And that letter is also Joker being invited to join the Black Glove. And this moment right here actually takes place right before the very beginning of our video, where of course Batman came to the Joker to ask the Joker about the Black Glove. And so this is how Joker finds out about the Black Glove. And this is how Joker was basically recruited to the Black Glove, thanks to La Bassu breaking into Arkham Asylum. Now, when we get into the second chapter of this storyline, we actually do pick up with Batman fighting against some random thug in the sewers, basically. But either way, once Batman is able to actually defeat the thug, you have Batman actually questioning the thug to see if the thug is actually working for the Black Glove organization. Now, with that being said, that is the moment you have Jim Gordon appear. Now, the reason why Jim Gordon is there is because it's Jim Gordon telling Batman that right now, him and the police have been trying to find any kind of piece of information about the Black Glove. But of course, they're unable to find anything at all. And so you have Jim just telling Batman, the only thing we found is an old film that's titled The Black Glove. But that's really it. But by the time Jim turns around, Batman is already gone. Now, that is the moment where we actually do jump back over to the Batcave, where we actually do pick up with Batman right now in the Batcave studying the old Black Glove film that Jim Gordon had actually told Batman about earlier. Now, while Batman is studying the film, of course, you do have Batman bring up two things with Alfred. The first thing is that he's looking for a particular black case book. Now, the black case book was actually mentioned in one of our earlier videos. It was where Batman kind of kept information about the early days of cases that he was working on. And of course, most of those cases were kind of unsolved. And so this is Batman coming to Alfred about those cases, or really a missing black case book that was holding a set of cases. But you do have Alfred say, listen, I put every single case book in the computer system for you to access very easily. Now, the second thing Batman does bring up is Tim Drake, because Batman wants Tim Drake's help. But here's the thing. Tim Drake has been gone for 2 days and Batman has not even noticed at all. And this is also Alfred kind of telling Batman that the reason why Tim Drake has been acting weird is because the whole Damian Wayne thing. But of course, Batman does not want to talk about it at all. And matter of fact, you have Batman tell Alfred to go ahead and go to the movies for a night out because Batman is planning on cooking dinner for Jezebel. Now, of course, that is the moment where you basically have the story jump over to the Black Glove, where, of course, right now you have the Black Glove organization right now talking about the idea of going after Batman, but to make sure to kind of destroy the Batman, to break the Batman. Now, of course, remember, Dr. Hurt is the one in charge of this organization, but on top of that, Dr. Hurt was the one who knows Batman the most. And the reason why Dr. Hurt knows Batman the most is because basically Dr. Hurt did a study on Batman a while back. And of course, remember in one of our earlier videos when Batman was trying to figure out who were the 3 Batmans that were running around Gotham, the Antichrist Batman, the Beast Batman, and the one who had a gun who shot the Joker. Well, Batman remembered a time where he was kind of helping out studying a space drug with a military operation. And that space drug program was kind of being run by Dr. Hurt. And while testing that drug out, Dr. Hurt was basically able to study Batman and learn a lot more about Batman. Of course, knowing that Batman is Bruce Wayne, but also how to break Batman. And so that is why Dr. Hurt knows how to break him. And this is also Dr. Hurt saying that Batman does have a weakness. And his weakness is Batman himself. And you see what I mean as we go through this book. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Batman and Jezebel right now in the Batcave. Now, with that being said, this is Jezebel's first time in the Batcave. And so, of course, she's very amazed about everything she's seeing right now in the Batcave. Now, you do have Batman actually bring up the black glove. And this is Batman kind of telling her that she needs to stay away if they try to come and recruit her. Because right now, they could possibly use her as a way to get to Batman. But while Batman is telling her all of this, of course, he is grabbing her wrist and actually hurting her wrist as well. And so, of course, when he does let go, she has to take a step back. But at the same time, she tells herself that she understands why he was kind of overreacting or being the way he was, because he's Batman. He's balancing 2 lives, Bruce Wayne and Batman, something that's not easy to do. Now, after that, that is the moment where you actually do have Jezebel tell Batman that she feels like his money is being used in the wrong way, meaning that he could have used his money to help other countries out, especially her country, and actually end the national debt in her country. And so it's kind of her planting the seeds to use his money correctly. Now, that is the moment where we actually do jump over to James Gordon right now going to the mayor's office. And the reason why, because you had the mayor call James over to tell James about what's about to happen in the newspaper in Gotham City. Because right now, the Gotham Gazette, the newspaper company for Gotham, has a writer known as Ed Sheldrake who's about to write a story that can basically ruin Bruce Wayne and his entire family. Where in this story, there are a lot of allegations basically saying horrible things about the Waynes. Like, for example, there's one that says Martha Wayne had cheated on Thomas Wayne with Alfred. And so, of course, saying that Alfred is actually Bruce Wayne's son. On top of that, there's another one where Thomas Wayne was a drug addict. I mean, there are a lot of different things, but this is James just trying his best to hopefully defend his friend Bruce Wayne. But what the mayor tells what the mayor tells James Gordon is that basically there is a lot of proof that shows that almost every single statement that was said in that article right now is technically true. Now, getting back over to Batman, we actually do see Batman and Jezebel having a conversation. Now, with this conversation, it's basically Jezebel telling Batman that apparently the boys, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, and also Alfred, are kind of scared of Batman because Batman is a person who was only created as a way to scare people. Bruce Wayne created this other persona to scare people in Gotham to hopefully stop crime. But of course, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, Alfred have watched Batman so many times over the years, they're actually scared of him. Now, of course, Batman wants to deny all of that, but then he kind of thinks back to all the different moments in his life with Dick Grayson, possibly Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and even Alfred, where of course he's probably thinking maybe Jezebel is right, that his entire family is scared of him because he's been a scary person. And he also created a persona that was made to scare people. And he has done a lot of dark things over the years as Batman. Now, this is also Jezebel telling Batman that he should just stop and use his money in a more correct way. Because right now he has spent billions of dollars on different death technology. She calls it death technology to build this museum. She's calling the Batcave a museum. And so it's her saying, why not use your money for actual good? But of course, you do have Batman kind of continue on with the idea of wanting to know more about the Black Glove. On top of the fact, he also thinks that basically Jezebel could be somebody used by the Black Glove as a way to get to Batman, which is not wrong, because if they did that, that would be their best route. But that is also the moment where you have Jezebel kind of say that maybe the Black Glove is actually Batman himself. And what she means is that when it comes to Bruce Wayne, he made the Batman persona as a way to kind of scare people, to stop crime. But what if a third persona was made in the mind of Batman? Like the Black Glove persona was made in Batman's mind because Bruce Wayne hates Batman so much. Or maybe the feeling of Batman in Bruce Wayne's body had created a third persona, which led to Batman not realizing that he's out there being the Black Glove, kind of saying he has split personality problem. But of course, we know that is not true. Now, that is the moment where Batman does see something weird on his computer screen. And when he sees it, he begins to feel very ill and sick. And then the screen changed into more weird masked things. And that is the moment Bruce Wayne tells Jezebel to close down the Batcave and call out to Commissioner Gordon. Something big is happening here. The problem is, though, right after he tells her that, the Batcave has been invaded by the Black Glove. They are there to capture Batman. Now, to close on the second chapter of this video, we actually do have Alfred arriving back at the Batcave. Now, remember, Alfred went away to the movies because Batman wanted some alone time with Jezebel. But of course, when Alfred comes back, the Batcave ends on fire. Bruce Wayne is not there. Neither is Jezebel. And on top of that, Alfred is actually attacked by some of the members of the Black Glove, which now tells us the Black Glove was the ones who had invaded the Batcave to show us that, yes, Dr. Hurt knows for sure that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Now, when we get into the third chapter of today's video, we actually do pick up with Tim Drake Robin. Now, you have to remember, the reason why Tim Drake was not captured alongside with Alfred and Bruce Wayne is because Tim Drake stepped away a couple days ago. Because with Damian Wayne drama and also the death of his parents and also his girlfriend Stephanie, Tim Drake kind of had to step away. But right now you have Tim Drake looking over the notes that Batman has written over the years of being Batman, where you have Batman in the notes basically say like how he feels about being Batman, how it's so much to handle. And if it wasn't for Robin being around and his humor, that Batman could two things: one, had quit, or two, have gone insane. And so it's Robin being able to pull Batman into the light. And honestly, that has been said so many times over the years in Marvel Comics, not Marvel, wrong company, DC Comics, with Dick Grayson, Jason Todd somewhat, but Dick Grayson and Tim Drake and even Damian, it has been said a lot of times over the years. But that is the moment where you actually have Tim Drake be attacked by one of the members of the Black Glove. And of course, they're coming after him to wipe out the entire Batman family. They already got Alfred. They already got Bruce Wayne. And so it makes sense that their next goal would be Tim Drake. But luckily, Tim Drake knew that they were coming. And so Tim Drake was able to kind of make a way for him to escape. Even though there's two members trying to come after him, it's Tim Drake saying, I still know a way to get out of here. And so you have Tim Drake get on his motorcycle and basically get away. Now, of course, the members of the Black Glove are not going to give up that easily, but of course, they still want to capture him. But then we actually pick up with Bruce Wayne. Now remember, the last time we saw Bruce Wayne, he was being captured by the members of the Black Glove. But that is the moment where you have Bruce Wayne actually wake up right in the middle of the street, or an alleyway actually. But of course, he's like drugged out. And the question is though, what happened to Batman after being technically captured by the Black Glove? Now, of course, that is the moment where Batman is actually found by a character known as Honor Jackson. Now, Honor Jackson is actually going to be very important for this chapter alone, but either way, though, you have Honor Jackson begin the process of actually helping Bruce Wayne up. Now, this is a Bruce Wayne who is mentally, but also physically broken, because right now, Bruce Wayne, it seems like he has no idea who he is at all or where he's been. But right now, you can tell something has happened to him. Now, that is the moment where we basically get a flashback, but at the same time, we're still continuing on with the present day. And what I mean is that while you have Bruce Wayne getting back up after being found by our lovely new character, Honor, well, that is the moment where you basically have Bruce Wayne begin to remember what happened to him after the Black Glove had arrived into the Batcave, which is that basically they gave him some form of drug. And I'm not going to name what kind of drug it was, just know the drug is really bad. But either way, with that drug being out there, of course, it was a very huge illegal substance of that drug. And of course, it affected Batman in a very bad way. Now, of course, while Batman was going through the process of getting those drugs, you had the Black Glove keep saying the same thing over and over again. Zur-Ra. And I really hope I pronounced that correctly. But one more time, they kept saying Zur-Ra. And Zur-Ra is actually going to be very important for this storyline. Now, you do have Robin actually call up Nightwing. Because remember, by this point in the Batman family, your Batman family was Batman, Robin, and Nightwing. Batgirl is still Oracle. Jason Todd has not returned back yet. And Damian Wayne hasn't technically joined the Batman family yet. He only appears here and there for most random moments in Bruce Wayne's life. But either way, though, right now you have Tim Drake calling up Nightwing. Because if the Black Glove went after Bruce Wayne, Alfred, and Tim Drake, it would make sense that they would go after Dick Grayson as well. And so, of course, this is Robin trying to warn Dick Grayson, hey, listen, the Black Glove might come after you. And if they do, they will try to capture you. So we need to meet up because I feel like Bruce Wayne and Alfred have already been kidnapped by the Black Glove. And so, of course, Nightwing really has no idea what Tim Drake is talking about. But of course, it's Tim Drake saying, we need to meet up at a certain location to talk about what's happening right now. But right after Nightwing gets off the line, well, that is the moment you have one of the members of the Black Glove actually appear. Now, the next part is really more of Batman hanging out with the character Honor. Now, remember what I said earlier. Bruce Wayne doesn't remember who he is, but on top of that, he doesn't remember how he got to where he is right now in the alleyway hanging out with Honor. Now, there's something else I do want to mention about Honor. Honor is a homeless person, but Honor is what seems to be a good person. And so you have Batman actually hang out with Honor as they go on their odyssey. Now, this odyssey is apparently going to help Bruce Wayne get better because Honor does see something in Bruce Wayne. Now, like I said earlier, Batman doesn't remember who he is. On top of that, he doesn't remember how he got into the alleyway. Even though he had that flashback of him being Batman in the Batcave and being drugged by the Black Glove, that's the only flashback he has. But of course, with the drugs that they have technically injected into Bruce Wayne, his body is craving for more. And so this is kind of like Honor taking him on this odyssey as a way to kind of say, hey, listen, if you stay with me, I can do a couple things for you. Kind of give you some money to help you get some food. On top of that, maybe find some money for drugs and possibly also find drugs as well as a way to actually help you get over your addiction problem, which of course was given to Bruce Wayne when the Black Glove broke into the Batcave. But either way, after a few pages of basically Batman hanging out with Honor, you do have Honor just disappear. Like after Honor takes Bruce Wayne to see the sunset with of course the skyline of Gotham City, Honor just disappears. He's gone. But on top of that, before Honor does disappear, he does tell Bruce Wayne where to go next. Where, of course, somewhere to get his next fix. Because right now, Bruce Wayne is going through a heavy, huge addiction problem right now. Now, the person that Honor actually told Bruce Wayne to go see is a guy named Lincoln. And of course, when Batman gets there to talk to Lincoln to hopefully get connection on getting some more drugs to help Bruce Wayne get over his new addiction, well, that is the moment you have Bruce Wayne tell Lincoln that Honor has sent him there to talk to Lincoln. But that is the moment you have Lincoln say, you must be on some hardcore drugs because Honor has been dead for a while. And so there's no way that you had actually talked to Honor, which means the entire time Bruce Wayne was basically hanging out with Honor, Honor wasn't there at all. It's kind of like a side effect of the drugs. It makes you see things that are not really there. Now, of course, when Bruce Wayne realized where he's at right now, getting these drugs from Lincoln, well, that is the moment he realized that he is in Crime Alley. Of course, Crime Alley is where his parents were murdered. Now, the next couple pages kind of tell us what happened to Tim Drake and Dick Grayson. Tim Drake is still free. He was able to get away from most of the members of the Black Glove and still be out there in Gotham without any problems at all. But when it comes to Nightwing, he has been captured. Nightwing has been captured, and so now you have Nightwing and Alfred captured by the Black Glove, which of course is a huge problem for the Batman family, because now it seems like it all comes down to Tim Drake to basically save Bruce Wayne, Alfred, and and Dick Grayson from the Black Glove. Now, the third chapter actually ends on one heck of a note. And what I mean by that is you have Batman kind of go through this weird process where, of course, he remembers what the Black Glove told him when they basically threw him on the street, Zur and Ra. And with that phrase right there, it unlocks a new kind of persona in Batman's mind. That where he's not your usual Batman. He's not your Bruce Wayne. He's a new kind of Batman. And this is a Batman who's now known as the Batman of Zur and Ra. And he's wearing an entire different outfit. But on top of that, he's also has a new friend. Not a new friend, an old friend that has reappeared in this book. And that character is no other than Batmite. Now, getting into the fourth chapter, this is where you basically have Batman go crazy. And what I mean by that is you do have Batman going around Gotham and he is interrogating a lot of thugs to find Love Basu. Of course, the hunchback we saw at the very beginning of the book who had joined the Black Glove, because this is Batman trying to hunt him down. But while Batman is trying to hunt him down, Batman has actually gone insane. And what I mean by that is this is a Batman who's running around Gotham as the Batman of Zur and Ra. On top of that right there, Batman is actually talking to different things in the city. Like, Batmite is a real character. Batmite is from the fifth dimension. With that being said, though, that's okay. But with Batman talking to gargoyles, that right there is crazy. Because it's Batman actually thinking that he's actually talking to the gargoyles who are telling him information about the Black Glove. Like, for example, they basically made some kind of system called the Grid. And the Grid is kind of like an area in Gotham where it's kind of like an area that is made to make Batman. And so if anybody ever wants to make another Batman, that area is perfect area to kind of put someone through the process of becoming the next Batman. And that is how crazy it is, because while Batman is actually talking to the gargoyles, he is seeing the Grid, like this closed off green shield around the area that was made to make Batman. Now remember, Batman was originally going around hunting down La Bassu. And of course, he was getting very close to finding La Bassu before the gargoyles began to talk to Batman. But while you have Batman talking to the gargoyles, well, that is the moment the men of La Bassu realized that Batman was on the rooftop. And the reason why, because the Black Glove had actually placed some kind of tracking system in the teeth of Batman. And so, of course, he had to get a batarang to dig out that tracer or tracker that was in between his teeth. Now, this is where I basically try my best to explain what in the world is Zur and Ra. And let me tell you, it is going to be hard to explain this whole ordeal. And what I mean by that is basically the reason why Batman is going around as Zur and Ra ties back to what happened in one of our earlier videos, where Batman went through a space drug experiment. And of course, that operation was actually run by Dr. Hurt, the guy who's technically the leader of the Black Glove. But what actually happened in that space drug experiment was Batman began to hallucinate and began to see different things around him. And of course, he apparently had discovered another version of Batman. And this other version of Batman was more powerful than the one he is now. But with this other version of Batman, it's basically Batmite telling Batman that when he discovered this other version, it was actually a good thing, because it was kind of like another persona in his mind that Batman had locked away just in case anybody ever tries to shut off Batman. And what I mean is that Dr. Hurt used that experiment to learn more about Bruce Wayne, to learn more about Batman. But on top of that right there, Dr. Hurt also used that experiment as a way to find a way to shut off Batman. And so that is where the key phrase comes in, Zur and Ra. Because for Dr. Hurt, that key phrase is a way to shut off Batman's mind, to shut off the Batman persona. But because Bruce Wayne had discovered another version of Batman, with Dr. Hurt shutting off the original Bruce Wayne Batman persona, the other one stepped in. And so it's kind of saying that Batman always has a backup plan, even for people who try to mess with his mind and shut off the Batman persona in his mind. It's hard to explain. It's very weird. Now, we do get this update that basically right now, Tim Drake is still okay. That Tim Drake is actually still alive. Like, the Black Glove has not been able to actually capture Tim Drake at all. Now, with that being said, though, you do have Tim Drake making a call. Now, at first, I thought that Tim Drake would actually call in, the Justice League, or at least Superman, somebody who can actually help out a lot with something like this going on in Gotham. But of course, Tim Drake does not do that. Instead, you have Tim Drake call in two characters who can actually help out a lot, and those characters are Knight and Squire. Now, Knight and Squire have been around for a very long time. And basically, they're kind of like the Batman and Robin of London. But right now, you have Tim Drake calling them for help, because Tim Drake and Batman had met them a few years ago. And of course, they could technically help out with the idea of finding Bruce Wayne, but also stopping the Black Glove. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with some members of the Black Glove. And of course, they're having some kind of argument. But honestly, that right there is not important. And really, what is actually is important is that while these Black Glove members are having this conversation with one another, well, that is the moment they come to find out that, of course, Batman's back. Batman's not dead. And of course, these two members of the Black Glove are shocked to see Batman back and alive and well. Now, of course, this is not our Bruce Wayne Batman. This is the Batman Azur and Ra, this other version of Batman that was locked away in the mind of Batman. But of course, now he is free. And of course, right now, he's going around being the Batman of Gotham. And now the Black Glove members are like, oh my God, Batman's not dead. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Jim Gordon. And right now, you have Jim Gordon with a police officer going to check up on Bruce Wayne. Now, the reason why, because remember, earlier, Jim Gordon got word that the Gotham Gazette was going to publish a paper that could technically ruin the entire Wayne family. I don't mean just Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson and Tim Drake. I literally mean Thomas Wayne is also Martha Wayne. And so this is Jim Gordon being that friend. Now, of course, when the police officer and Jim walk into Wayne Manor, well, that officer is killed off, which sucks because he literally just told Bruce Wayne, he literally told Jim Gordon a moment ago about him having a child. And that police officer is now dead. But of course, now Jim Gordon has walked into the trap of the Black Glove. Now, that is the moment where we actually do pick up with Dr. Hurt, the leader of the Black Glove. And let's not forget that he is still holding on to Alfred. Now, we could technically say right here that Dr. Hurt does have some personality problems. And the reason why, because as soon as he wakes up Alfred, you have Dr. Hurt kind of claim that he is actually, and no joke, that he is actually Thomas Wayne. Now, Alfred knows that Dr. Hurt is nowhere close to being Thomas Wayne, but this is Dr. Hurt actually believing that he is Thomas Wayne, which is something huge to see. Now, with that being said, you do have Dr. Hurt tell Alfred, don't worry, they're going to finish the job with Batman. They're going to make sure they actually do kill him off. Now, we do get this one page where we actually do see Batman right now torturing another member of the Black Glove. And this is Batman just trying to get some information about the Black Glove, but also Dr. Hurt. Now, I will give this random member of the Black Glove some prop, like he is trying to protect his boss. But of course, this is a Batman who's not the usual Batman. Because remember, Dr. Hurt shut down the original Batman persona. This is another persona that has come out and right now wants to beat up basically the Black Glove, the Batman of Azur and Ra. Now, the last few pages, we actually do pick up with La Bassu. And right now, you have La Bassu right now getting ready to technically take over Arkham. And technically, he already has, because that is the moment you actually have another doctor confront him about a radical surgery that La Bassu wants to do. And of course, nobody can actually stop La Bassu. And the reason why, because everybody who's working right now in Arkham is working for La Bassu. And so this other doctor who is trying to stop La Bassu from doing this surgery is easily beaten down by some guards that work for La Bassu. But let's not forget, earlier, La Bassu was trying to recruit the Joker to join the Black Glove, to have the Joker be somebody to kill off Batman, to get rid of Batman. But at the same time, the Black Glove also promised Joker one thing. And that one thing is the Joker wants to kill a Robin. And this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.